Hi friends, this is the side lying portion of the 3-part Pilates series I'm going to do. So this one in particular is going to target not only the core, but the hips and the glutes, particularly outer hips and through the side body. We'll do the whole series on the right side, and then we'll flip over and do the whole series on the left. So I'm going to take about 2 seconds to get you warm in case if this is the first one you're going to do, but feel free to do it on its own or layer any of the different parts together to make however long you would like your workout to be. So when you're ready, we're going to come to have a seat. We're going to place those feet flat on the floor with the knees bent. We're going to reach those arms out long. Chin's going to tuck to chest as we roll ourselves all the way back flat to our back, reaching those arms up overhead, and then chin will tuck back to the chest as we roll ourselves all the way up to sit, giving you a nice big shoulder roll as you come all the way up. Nice. Again, chin tucks to chest. Rolling one vertebrae at a time down, reaching those arms up overhead, and then chin will come back out to the chest as we roll ourselves up. So this next time, we're gonna lay all the way flat onto our back. You can slowly let those knees come into the chest. You can grab onto the backs of the thighs or the tops of the shins. Feel free to take a little rock side to side. The head can go side to side to release the back of the neck. So from here, that right knee is going to stay in at the chest as that left foot goes to the floor. Hands can either come by the hips or you can take them out into a little T beside the shoulders. We're just going to take that right knee and draw big circles with that right hip. So it does not matter what direction you're moving in or what your range of motion looks like. I just want you to start to open up through that right hip. Again, you can point the toe, you can flex the ankle. I want you to work to keep the left knee and thigh bone right in line with that left hip. You got it. Come back through center and then just reverse the direction of those circles, taking it the other way. Exact same thing. Maybe as we start to open up through the hip flexor, we can make that range of motion just a little bit bigger. You got it. Let's find 2 more on this right side. When you're ready, that right foot's going to come back to the floor, and we're going to do the same thing on the left. Draw that left knee into the chest, pick a direction, and we take big circles with that left hip. Again, I don't want you really rocking side to side. I want you to feel the front of the core engage as that lower back pushes or imprints itself onto your mat, and then you just take your range of motion at your pace. Coming back through center, let's just reverse the direction of the circles, going the other way. Again, you can point the toe, you can flex the ankle, you put as much bend in the knee as you need to here. You got it. Let's find 2 more. When you're ready, that left foot's going to come back to the floor, and as you do so, can you draw those heels about 1 inch or 2 from the base of the glutes? We're going to push through the feet as we lift the hips into our bridge and slowly lower back down so those hands can stay right by the hips. They can stay out at your little T. I just want you to feel the opening through the front of the core and the hip flexors as we start to engage through the glutes and the back side of the body. Working to keep the thigh bones and the knees right in parallel as we draw up. You got it. Take your time. Let's take 1 more here. And then when you're ready, we'll come all the way down flat to our back. We're going to roll over onto that left side. So your right leg is up to the ceiling. When we come onto our side, you can either bend the bottom arm with the head resting in the hand. You can lengthen through that bottom arm and rest the head on the upper arm. It's whatever is most comfortable for you in your head, neck, and shoulders. So from here, we're going to take a little pike in the hips as the feet come to the front corner of that mat. So our legs are nice and straight. We are up on the bony part of this left hip. We're not rolling back onto the fleshy part of the glutes. I want you stacked in the hips and stacked in the shoulders. So pointing that right toe, we're going to lift all the way up and then flex as we lower. We point as we lift and we flex as we lower. So this is your pace and your range of motion. You do not have to be with me. You got it. If the point and flex in the ankle bothers the muscles in the base of the foot or in the shin or the calf muscle, then just keep the ankle at a nice neutral position. But if it is okay, working through that point and flex, we'll take those teeny tiny muscles running down the front of the shin and those big calf muscles in the back. You got it. So very similar motion coming up. We're just going to kind of add on from here. Let's take 2 more. 1 more. Now keeping that right toe pointed, we're going to sweep up the bottom leg, reach to the ceiling, and then flex as we lower back down. We sweep up that bottom leg, reach to the ceiling, and flex as we lower. You got it. So take your pace, your range of motion as we come up. I don't want you to take that right hip back behind you. We're just coming up the leg, reaching to the ceiling, and flexing as we lower back down. Nice job. So I'm hoping that you might start to feel some heat building in that right hip, at least letting the hip know that there's some work to come. You got it. Let's take 2 more here. Take your time. 1 more. Try not to drop the leg. That right leg is going to come right back into parallel. Restack the hips, pointing your right foot. We're going to kick forward with a little double pulse, back behind with a little double pulse. So our goal here is for this right leg to stay in parallel to the floor through the entire range of motion. You got it. As you come forward, we're engaging and stabilizing through the front of the core. And then as that leg goes back behind you, you're going to feel an opening through the front of that right hip flexor. But we're not pushing the hip forward. We're keeping the hip stacked, but using that glute to pull that leg back behind you. Nice job. This top hand in this exercise in particular, coming in front of the chest, can be really handy to keep the shoulders and the torso from rocking back and forth. We want to really engage through the front of the core and work from the hips to the feet. Nice job. Find 2 more here. We're just going to add on into that little bicycle, sweeping that right leg forward, bend the knee heel to the glute, and push that leg back. Straight leg sweeps forward, bend the knee, heel comes to the glute, and we stretch that leg straight back behind you. Nice job. Once again, your pace, your range of motion. We're not pushing that hip forward. We're using the glute to stretch the leg back behind you and open up through the front of that hip flexor. You got it. So I will cue you, but just think about which range of motion you're moving through, what direction you're going, okay? We're going to do the same thing in reverse. Let's take 2 more. Take your time. Right leg comes into parallel, keeping the leg straight. Sweep back, bend the knee heel to the glute, and push that leg forward. So straight leg sweeps back, bend the knee heel to the glute, and then straighten that leg out in front. You got it. Try to keep the shoulder stacked. Don't round that right shoulder over here. Nice job. So as the heel comes to the glute and the knee comes forward, you have a nice big opportunity to squeeze through the front of the core as we stretch that right leg in front. Doing great. Nice job. Take your time. So we're going to start to put them both together. Take 2 more. 1 more. Don't drop that right leg. Come into parallel. Big circles pointing that right toe. We go forward, up, back, and down. Forward, up, back, and down. Once again, your pace, your range of motion here, but I want you to slow the pace. I want you to work through the mobility of that hip as we go forward, up, back, and down. Again, try not to rock the hips or shoulders forward or back. Stay stacked and really open up through that right hip. Nice, belly in and up. Feel the front of the core engage. Take 2 more in this direction. Again, take your time. Coming back through center, just reverse, pointing the toe back, up, forward, and down. Back, up, forward, and down. Yes. Nice job. You feeling the heat now. Starting to build through that right hip. You got it. Come on, use that core. Find the stability. Really work on the mobility and the flexibility in this right hip. Nice, doing great. Come on, almost there. Now we're going to start to pick up the pace as we decrease that range of motion. Find 2 more. Take your time. 1 more. Don't drop the leg. Come right into parallel. Pointing that toe, pick a direction and draw teeny tiny little circles now with that right foot. Again, using the core. Find stability in the hips. We're quiet through the torso, just working through that right leg. Nice. Take your time. Think about which direction you're moving. Come through center and just reverse the direction of those circles, taking it the other way. Belly in and up. Nice. 4 here. 3, 2, we're going to take that right foot. We tap in front, we tap behind. I want you to feel now that squeeze through the inner thigh as we tap in front and we tap behind. Nice job. Doing great. You have 4 here. 3, 2, take your time. Don't drop that right leg. Come right into parallel. Can you flex at least that right foot? Toes draw to the shin, and we take a teeny tiny little pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. So we're going to stay right here to start. But I want you to remember this, okay? We're going to come back here in just a little bit. Now, can you keep the leg in parallel, but just open up the hip as you take the toes to the ceiling? Yes. Depending on the flexibility in the hip, your toes might not come all the way up. That's okay. But I just want you to feel the hip externally rotate as the toes go to the ceiling. Now again, depending on your range of motion, it might not be very big, but now we're going to start to turn the toes towards the floor. You got it. Feeling that hip roll over, internal rotation back through that hip. Little baby pulse. Belly is in and up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Toes go back forward. Feet are in parallel. Take that little baby pulse. Nice. You have 8 here. 6, 4, 3, 2. Just let those feet come together. Bend both knees, keeping the ankles flexed. Feet stay connected, and we're just going to open and close that knee towards the ceiling into a little clamshell. So we're not rolling back behind you. Hips are stacked. Feeling that little pinpoint through the top of that right hip as we squeeze through that right glute as we open and close. Nice. Give me 4 here. 3, 2, 1 more. Knee stays open. Now point that right toe. Knee's going to drive to the shoulder. Big toes come back to touch. So you've seen what we've just done, these last 2 exercises where the hip and the shoulder are connected to the floor. Know that you can always come back here if you need to in just a minute. Nice. So we've externally rotated the hip. Knee drives to the shoulder with a big squeeze down that right side body. Nice job. Give me 4 more here. 3, take your time. 2, 1 more. Feet come back together. Let the knees come back together. Now I want you to prop yourself up onto that left forearm. Shoulder is directly underneath, shoulder is right over that elbow. Your left knee stays bent as that right foot goes wide. So left knee is always going to stay on the floor. Hand can be at the hip or hand can go to the ceiling as we lift and lower. So giving that right hip a break for just a second as we squeeze through this bottom left side here, picking the hips up off the floor and then slowly lowering back down. Nice. Take 4 here. 3, 2. Now lift and hold. Take a little baby pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Now you can always stay right here. You can come back down onto the hip anytime you need to. 4 here. 3, 2, hold still. Right hand that's up is going to tuck underneath that side body. We lift back up. We tuck under. We reach. Tuck under. So we're just taking the gaze back over that left shoulder, reaching that arm right under the left side of the rib cage, and then pulling that hand right back up over the shoulder. You got it. Take your time. 2 more here. Nice. 1 more. Now reach that right hand to the ceiling. Can you bend that right knee and stack the feet? Going right back to what you know, moving into that clamshell as we take that right knee back to the ceiling. You got it. Again, you can lower back onto that left hip anytime you need to. 4 here. 3, 2. Now keep that right knee up. Reach that right hand up overhead. You're ready? Draw an elbow to the knee and the toes come back to touch. Now you can stay right here. You can tap the floor or you can stretch that right leg long. Again, lengthen through that right side body. Feel the work as you squeeze, but that left side is keeping you stable. 4 here. 3, take your time. 2, One more. Right foot comes back to the floor. Right hand to hip. Lower the hip back down. Come back. Head in the hand or head on the upper part of the arm. Yes. Straighten out both legs once again. Flex that right foot. Go back to that little baby pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Nice. So remember those big circles we just did? Yeah, I saw how high that leg went of yours when we were at the top of that big circle. Can you take me back there as we keep this little pulse and ladder that foot all the way up to the top of your big circle, and then we ladder ourselves all the way back down. So I want you to keep this pulse the whole time. Yeah, I told you to remember we were coming back here, right? You got it. Never dropping that right leg. Coming all the way up, and then we come right back down into parallel. I need one more trip, all the way up and all the way down. Nice. Take your time. Now, we're going to stay up at the top. So make your way all the way back up at the top. Toes are facing forward to start, and stay right here. Now, we did it in parallel. Now we're going to do it up top. Open up the hip and take the toes to the ceiling. Little baby pulse, 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Belly is in and up. Find that stability here. Now, rotate all the way over. Take the toes towards-ish the floor. Yes. Nice. Just feeling that hip kind of roll over and close off. Now, take the toes back to me. Little baby pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. You keep your pulse and watch me do it one time. We rotate over. Let the toes tap the floor. Lift up. Toes to the ceiling as the heel taps the floor. We rotate over as the toes tap. Toes to the ceiling as that heel taps. So we just go all the way up to tap and then all the way down. Nice. Give me 2 more on each side. Belly is in and up. Come on, use that right hip. 1 more. Take the heel. Now lift back up. Toes face me. Square up and then take that little pulse. 1 more time. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Yeah, right here. Right? Come on, come on, come on. Lift a little bit higher. You got this. That leg's not going to fall off. You have 8, 6, 4, 3, 2. Slowly lower down. Nice job. All right, bend the knees. Let's flip over. What we do on one side, we get to do on the other, right? So take your time, little pike in the hips. Again, we're coming on the right side. So your left leg is lifted. Head can be in the hand. Bottom arm can stretch out to the floor with the head resting in the upper arm. Totally up to you. Again, if the point and flex bothers, then just keep the ankle at a neutral position. Pointing that left toe this time. Did you switch sides? Let's go. We lift up. We flex as we lower. We point as we lift. We flex as we lower. So we're going to do that exact same thing on the other side. Nice. Engage here right now. Through the entire series, I need that belly button locked in and up. Nice. Again, you take your pace, your range of motion. Look right here. See how high that leg is going? When we pulse at the very end, that's how high I want your leg. Okay? Yes, you're giving me a thumbs up, aren't you? You're rolling your eyes at me, aren't you? Nice. Take 2 more. Now, we're going to add on from here. We're pointing that left toe. We're sweeping up the bottom leg, reaching to the ceiling, and flexing as we lower back down. Point the toe as we sweep up, reach to the ceiling, and flex as we lower. Here, we have that tendency to kind of lean back, letting that left hip kind of go back so that we can take the leg to the ceiling. I want you to use the hip. So try your best to stay stacked and just move through your range of motion at your pace. Nice work. Come on, belly in and up. Give me 2 more right here, and then we're going to go forward and back. You got it. 1 more. Now, don't drop the leg. Come right back into parallel. Restack those hips. Hand comes in front. That leg comes in front as we pulse twice, and back behind as we pulse twice. Nice job. Again, you might find that your range of motion as we start to work through this left side is going to be different than the right side. It might be a little bit more, it might be a little bit less. Totally normal. So own it and work through this side's range of motion as we go through this series here. Nice job. Again, belly in and up. Try not to let those hips rock forward and back. Use the core. Use the muscles in the hips here. Give me 2 more, and then we're going to take it into that bicycle. One more. Straight leg sweeps forward. Bend the knee, heel to the glute. Push the foot back. Straight leg sweeps forward. Bend the knee, heel to the glute, and push back. Yes. Nice job. Again, you take your pace. Working to try to keep that left leg right in parallel to the floor, especially as we kick back. We have a tendency to want to go up to the ceiling. So really feel that thigh. Really pull in, that inner thigh pull inward as we push back. Think about which way you're going. 2 more here. We're just going to take it in reverse. So coming through center, that straight leg's now going to sweep back behind you as we bend the knee, heel to the glute. Knee comes up to the chest. So squeeze through that core and then stretch that left foot out in front of you. Yes, nice job. Once again, your pace, your range of motion. We're going to start to put it together here in just a second as we take those big circles. Nice. 2 more. You got it. Take your time. Coming into parallel. Try not to drop that foot. Big circles. Pointing the toe. That left leg goes forward, up, back, and down. Forward, up, back, and down. Here again is where that hand can come in handy in front of the chest. We don't want to lean that left shoulder over, especially as we're starting to kick back. We want to let the hip do the work, stabilizing and engaging through the front of the core and working through this side's range of motion. Nice job, doing great. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Let's take 2 more this way. We're going to do the exact same thing, just in reverse. Coming through center, take that left foot back, up, forward, and down. Back, up, forward, and down. Yes. Nice job. Finding that breath here. See if we can match the movement with our breath. You got it. Doing great. Let's find 2 more here. Nice and slow. Now we're going to pick up that pace as that left leg comes right into parallel. Pick a direction and draw teeny tiny little circles. So you're going to start to feel those inner thighs really pull together and engage, keeping that left leg right in parallel. Nice, belly in and up. Everything else in the body is quiet except for that left leg. Think about which direction you're moving. Come back through center and just reverse the direction of those circles, taking it the other way. Nice job, doing great. Almost there. You have 4 here. 3, we're going to point that toe, or it's not pointing the toe, we're going to flex the ankle as the toe comes forward, and then we're just going to turn it into that little baby pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. So enjoy this now while the legs are right in parallel. Again, keeping the pulse, just feel the external rotation in the hip as the toes go up towards the ceiling. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Nice job. Doing great. Again, toes are not going to go all the way to the floor, but just start to feel this hip kind of roll over, internal rotation as the toes go to face-ish the floor. Nice. So again, remember this. You got it. 4 here. 3, toes are going to go back, facing forward 1 more time, right in parallel. You have 8, 6, 4, 3, that left foot's just going to come down, and enough time for us to bend the knees and prop ourselves up onto that forearm. Once again, elbow is directly underneath the shoulder. That left knee is going to stay connected to the floor, and we're just going to lift and lower into that little clamshell. Actually, I've got you up too early, so I want you to come down back onto that, the top of the arm. And we're just going to lift and lower into that clamshell. I'm sorry about that. That was my fault. You got it. Nice. So again, just feeling that hip open up. We're not rolling back onto the fleshy part of the glute. Belly pulls in and up. Nice. 4 here. 3, 2 more. 1 more. Now knee stays up. We're going to take knee to shoulder. Big toes go back to touch. Yes. Nice job. Again, when we move forward and I have you up in that side plank, if you want to come back down onto the hip just like this, fantastic. You can stay right here the whole time. Nice. Take 4 more here. 3, 2 more. 1 more. Let those knees come back together. Now you can prop yourself up onto that forearm. Sorry about that. We're going to take shoulder right over elbow. Right knee is going to stay on the floor as that left foot goes long. Hand at the hip or to the ceiling. Let's just start in that little hip raise here. So again, giving a little break to that left side body. Big squeeze through that right side as we push up through the right hip and feel the pull of that left hip going to the ceiling. Nice job, doing great. 4 more singles here. Take your time, 2 more. Now lift and hold, little baby pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. You got it. So we're gonna take this top arm here in just a second and just rotate under that right rib cage as the gaze goes back. 4 here, 3, 2, that left arm is gonna tuck underneath. We reach back to the ceiling. We tuck under and we reach back up. So if you have lots of flexibility in the shoulder joint, please watch to keep that left hand directly over the shoulder as you reach back to the ceiling and not overextend, hyperextend through that shoulder too much as we come up. Nice job, doing great. Let's take 4 here. 2 more. Take your time. 1 more. Reach that left hand back up to the ceiling. Now we're going to bend the knees, bringing the feet back together. We lift and lower. Again, you can come back down onto the hip. You can release hand back out so that the head can rest in the hand or the arm can go out back flat to the floor. Totally up to you. Nice. Be proud in the chest. Engage through the core. You got 4 here. 3, 2 more. Now lift that knee up, reach that left arm up overhead, knee comes to meet the elbow. Yes, toes can go back to touch. You can tap the floor. You can reach that left leg long, totally up to you. Nice, relax the shoulders away. Pull that belly in. Reach fingertips away from the knee or the foot. You got it. 4 here. 3, 2 more. 1 more. Let that left foot come back to the floor. Release the hip all the way down. Head comes right back into that hand. Stretch that right leg long. Flex the left foot. Yes, go back to that little baby pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Nice job. Again, bellying it up. Lift up through that chest. Nice. So remember how high that circle was? Let's get back there. Taking the pulse, we ladder ourselves all the way up to the top of that circle, and then we ladder ourselves all the way back down. Nice job. Don't drop that left leg. Come right back into parallel, and then take your trip all the way back up and all the way back down. Nice work. Come on, 1 more. All the way up, all the way down. And then where are we going to go to finish? You got it. So take your time. Make your way all the way back up to the top of that circle. Toes are facing forward to start and keep that little baby pulse. Now, feel the hip open as we take the toes towards the ceiling. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Nice. Again, when we roll the hip over, the toes aren't going to face the floor, but I just want you to move in that direction. Okay? So work to roll the hip over, internal rotation. Nice. Feel the belly pull in and up. Lock it tight. Come on, last 60 seconds right here. Toes face forward. Take that little baby pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. You stay with the pulse. Watch 1 more time. Toes go to tap the floor. We lift up. Toes to the ceiling as the heel taps the floor. We lift up. Toes to the floor. Open up as the heel taps. You got it. Internal rotation as the toes go to the floor. Open up. External rotation as the heel taps. Try not to rock back and forth in the hips. Use the outside of the hips. Squeeze through the glute. Core is engaged. Yeah. How about 2 more each way? Come on. You got it. All the way up as high as you can go. Take your time. 1 more each way. Now, finish right here. Legs going to go all the way up. Ankle flexes, toe faces forward, and keep that little baby pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Nice. Finish right here, all out. You have 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, slowly lower down. Nice job. All right, soften those knees. Roll yourself all the way back onto your back. When you're ready, let both knees come into the chest, just like we did at the beginning. Little rock side to side. Left foot is again going to connect to the floor as that right ankle crosses over the left knee. You can stay right here, or you can draw that left foot up, grabbing behind the thigh. Wherever you are, flex both ankles. Draw the left knee in as that right knee pushes away from the center line of the body, and you're going to feel that big opening through the outside of that right hip. Slowly unwind. Let's just do the whole thing on the other side. Left ankle crosses over that right knee. Again, you can keep the right foot connected to the floor, or you can take that figure four up, lifting that right foot up off the floor as that left knee pushes away from the center line of the body. Take your time, unwind, both feet to the floor. Now stretch both legs long as the arms reach up overhead. Chin comes to the chest as we roll ourselves all the way up to sit. Flex the ankles and reach towards the thighs, the shins, or the toes. You can tuck the chin to the chest here, open up the backside. And then when you're ready, come all the way back up to sit. Give me a big shoulder roll. Nice job. Awesome work. Have a lovely day. I'll see you later.